Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. In today's video, we are sewing a drawstring bikini bottom. Two options are available for this style, thong and full coverage. You can download the pattern at the link below at mango-coast.com. This pattern is available in sizes extra small to XXL. And before we start, make sure to follow Mango & Coast on Instagram for new pattern updates, promos, and giveaways. There will be a contest launching very soon, so look out for updates on IG. Let's get right into it. For this tutorial, you will need a 1/4" rubber elastic, a loop turner, a magic erase pen, and a ruler. So, I have all my pattern pieces cut and ready to go. First, I will start to sew the strap. You will fold the strap lengthwise and serge. Using a loop turner, turn the strap right side out. Next, pin the front pieces together and back pieces together, right sides facing each other. Using a base stitch on your regular sewing machine, sew at the waistline and leg holes before proceeding to the serger. For your base stitch, you will use the longest stitch available on your sewing machine. I like to do my base stitch using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, therefore the stitch will be to the left side of the serged seam. And this way, it'll be much easier to remove my base stitch. Serge a 1/4" rubber elastic onto the waistline and leg holes. Set your elastic foot at 0 tension and sew the elastic onto the dominant side. In this case, I prefer the color blue, so I will be sewing elastic onto the blue side. Next, using a seam ripper, break all the base stitches and remove the threads. Now, take your back piece and seam rip a hole of 1 inch at the very middle. This hole will be used later on to flip your garment right side out. Therefore, you will need to backstitch on your regular sewing machine before the hole openings. Using the magic erase pen, which is water and air soluble, you will trace your strap channels. To make sure I am marking the exact center, I am using this line on my cutting mat as a reference. Adjust the placement of your pattern and mark the exact middle. Once the middle is marked, for size medium, the length of your middle line should be 4 3/4 inch. For the other sizes, please refer to the chart provided in the instructions. Next, trace a line on either side using a width of 3/8 inch. And then trace a line at the bottom of the strap channels. Next, take your front piece and flip it right side out. Using a straight stitch, you will top stitch on the 3 lines you previously traced. Next, seam rip 2 small holes to create your strap channels. Using a loop turner, pull your strap in through the gusset. Make sure that your straps are not twisted inside the channels and that they are measuring equal lengths. At the bottom of your channels, lower the straps slightly, leaving enough excess strap to stitch over. Stitch right across the bottom line and cut off the excess strap. Next, pin the sides and gusset down and sew across with a base stitch to keep the corners nice and flat. Base stitch at the very edge. Now you will place the front piece inside of the back piece, matching the self pieces. Therefore, both blue sides of each piece should be facing each other. Using a loop turner, match the sides and gussets together like so. And make sure that the front piece is not twisted inside. You will sew across the sides and gussets with a straight stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. As you are sewing through 4 layers of fabric, a trick to keep your corners aligned is to first stitch each corner into place and then to stitch over it all with a straight stitch. Next, trim off the excess seam. And finally, use the hole opening to flip the bottoms right side out. Last step is to blind stitch the opening. And there we have it. The Tortuga bikini bottom is done. This design is fully reversible and can be worn on either side. Download the Tortuga pattern at mango-coast.com. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook for new swimwear patterns, promos, and other updates. Happy sewing!